The Lachmann SMG is one of the best in the game, and you're here because you either need help with the challenge or maybe you just want a weapon build. In today's episode of Orion Obtainment, we are going to be going over all of that, so don't worry. There will even be timestamps in the description so you can go to exactly what challenge or what part of the video you need to. Let's start with the challenges. Like usual, you have to get 50 kills as the first challenge. That's going to happen very easily with this gun, as this thing basically gives you free kills. The next challenge per most guns is getting 10 double kills. If you are struggling with this, I definitely recommend playing in objective game mode. Just for testing purposes, I tried to do this challenge in team deathmatch where there's no objective, and you could definitely get double kills, and I did, but it's different. It's not nearly as easy. They don't come as often because there's no central focal point on the map. Now, the next challenge might be one that some of you are struggling on. You have to get 50 kills while using a suppressor using Lachmann Sub. It's a little weird because if you've used other submachine guns, you're gonna have a couple suppressors for the Lachmann. But if, like me, you didn't use any other submachine guns before the Lachmann, you're not going to have a suppressor. Unfortunately, this is one of those challenges where you have to level up the gun actually to level 18 to unlock a suppressor before you can start with this challenge. And by then, you'll have the next challenge, which is getting 10 hipfire kills using the Lachmann, which is very, very easy. A little later on in the video, I'll have a weapon build, and you guys will be able to see exactly what attachments I rock. And when I use it, it was pretty good from the hip. You don't really have to focus on, oh, I have to hip fire. It just happens naturally. Finally, once you complete all 4 of those challenges, you unlock the gold challenge, which is getting 3 kills without dying 10 times. I found this to be an easier gun to do it with, as again, this thing, for being an SMG, actually has some pretty impressive range, as well as because of its fire rate and its damage up close, it absolutely tears people up. If you're having trouble, I'll recommend what I do in every video: rock ghost, use a portable radar, and lock down a building. People won't exactly know where you're at, as well as you'll be able to tell when they're coming because of the portable radar. All right, 2 things left. First, we're gonna go over the weapon build that I use, my favorite one once you max it out, and then we are going to go over my ranking for this gun, which is a staple of the Orion Obtainment series, but that'll be after the weapon build. Let's get into the weapon build. So you can tune these attachments any way you want, but let's just go over the base attachments. To start with, I have the Merc foregrip. You will unlock this by getting the TAC V up to level 6, I believe. It is the best in slot underbarrel for most SMGs, as it provides recoil steadiness, good hip fire recoil control, and accuracy. The barrel is the FTAC M Sub 12-inch. I like this because it lowers the recoil. Granted, it doesn't have a lot of recoil to begin with, but when you start adding a couple more attachments, it's going to increase the recoil. So this brings it a little bit back down to earth, and I like this barrel a lot. And it gives you range. Next, we have probably the most flexible one that you could just get rid of if you want, especially if you want like an optic. I use the 1 milliwatt quickfire laser. It's the blue one that doesn't actually show up when you're aiming down sights. It just gives it a little more ADS speed. If you want something a little stronger, you can absolutely throw that on. If you want something hip fire laser, you could throw that on. Like I said, an optic, a suppressor, whatever you want. For the stock, I have the Mirror Recoil 56 factory stock. This is another one that's going to give you a little bit of recoil reduction, aiming stability, and sprint speed, which is nice if you're just running around the map like I do. And finally, we have the Lachmann TCG 10 grip, and that's just more recoil control. I'm a big fan of laser beam guns. I like to run around, but I try not to get caught out, so that's why my sprint to fire speed and stuff is a little bit lower than you would see on a lot of SMGs, because I usually pre-aim corners or I jump around corners rather than just running balls deep without thinking about where I'm going. So this is a class that you can definitely be fast with, but you're also going to be able to mat people at range. It's very, very good happy medium. Anyways, that's my class. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section of this class. If you've tried it out, is it good? You not like it? Is it not your cup of tea? And let's get on to ranking the Lachmann Sub compared to the rest of the weapons in Modern Warfare 2. Okay, so as you can see, we have 2 S tier guns, 4 A tier, 1 B tier, and then 1 weapon that shall not be named. I think the Lachmann Sub deserves a spot in A tier, and you could probably even make a case for S tier. I think it's a top 3 SMG for sure. Its range mixed with its low recoil and fast fire rate makes it an absolute beast. Obviously, you're still going to lose at like medium-long range to something like a SCAR, 74U, obviously the SPR. But it's a very solid weapon and you can't go wrong with it. Speaking of the SPR, if you guys want tips on how to get the SPR gold, check out this video right here. This is the first episode with weapon classes, but there'll be a bunch more shorts and other videos coming to the channel about the best builds for other guns. Make sure to subscribe to not miss any of those either. Anyways, I'll see you whenever the next video is. Peace out.